Hello, niaje wase. How are you? I hope mko fiti. It's so nice manze seeing you once again. This is the first time we're seeing each other for a very long time. And I hope manze umekuwa fiti. And I hope mambo imekuwa ikikuendea vizuri as always. This is the beginning of another season. And that's why I'm smiling. I'm all smiling simply because manze it's an honor. I thank God for this opportunity to meet you once more again. And also, I thank Summerbox for organizing all these, and also I thank you for creating time ndio tupatane hapa tujue season 2 inaendeleaje, au sio? So season 1 ilikuwa amazing sana. We had an amazing season 1. Mi nikiulizwa naweza sema the season was so good, and the reason why I'm saying that the season was good is because we started, it was like tulikuwa na jaribu, it was like setting the foundation of a bigger thing to come, and we had tulianza na simple books hapa na pale, tulianza na kuambiana manze, mbona vijana wasomangi vitabu, tukaleta guest, tukapata perspectives, tukajua ni aje si ati watu wasomi vitabu, ni ati watu wako busy, and then watu wengine wanasema pia watu wanasoma. It was a very nice season to me. I experienced different concepts, different insights, a change of minds. I mean, it was a good one. And tulijaribu, tukabalance, tukaenda majuu, tukakuja Afrika, tukaleta guest. It was so good, right? And then we climaxed the season with a live event. Kama uliattend ama kama uliona mahali manze, event ilikuwa mzuri, ilikuwa fiti. Our literally salon, the Book Plug podcast iko na hiyo, another branch of it ni events tunafanya literally salons. As the name suggests, tunapatana, tunasoma. Kama uku attend manze, wacha sasa nikupatie umbea. We met, people came with their books, African text, and then we met, we swapped books, and then we just switched off our phones. We read for around 45 minutes, and then we discussed, we shared ideas, we had a guest, an intellect who had visitors as all the way from the United States, alikuwa amekam. So it was a very, very nice event. That was the climax of season 1. And for that, manze, mi nimeshukuru sana. Tumeinteract sana kwa social media, kila mahali. Yani in short, nikikata hii story refu short niseme yani, season 1 ilikuwa season yenye ulifanyia justice. I really enjoyed that. And for that, tuko hapa for season 2. And this season 2, we are going to do things a little bit different. And I'm not scaring you. What do I mean by different? Season 1 we set foundation. And now this one, we want to be intentional. What do I mean? We want to focus 100% on African texts or African literature. Season 1 tulikuwa na kadhaa, around 4 or 3. Let me say 4. Actually 4. Ilikuwa half, nusu. And my experience with African literature nikasema, let's now focus these 100%. Another reason why we want to focus with African literature, not necessarily because of the hype, ama kwa sababu African literature is popular. No. We want to focus because I tend to believe that for the longest time, we've been trying to look for solution to African problems using other people's knowledge, or rather looking for solutions from outside. And we have a lot of answers right here with us. For instance, just a quick example. People say that Africa, we behind because technologically we behind and we cannot advance because we lack resources. We have the minds, but we lack resources. And then if you read wide enough, you'll find that there's another boy, or rather a man by the name William from Malawi. I don't want to preempt that book so much. It's called The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. We are going to discuss it right here as an episode. But my point is, he improvised everything and generally generated electricity to the whole village, and with no resources, with no imported resources, I'll say, because the resources were just right there. So those are kind of conversation we are going to have this particular season 2. So all I'm asking you, let us embrace African literature. Let us be open-minded, and let us also celebrate our literature. Mi ni mse napenda futa sana, and for the longest time nimekuwa niki-envy sana wasewa the Britain media, ama British media, ama hata tuseme tu the European media. The fact that saizi ukitaja tu jina Manchester, 2 things comes to your mind: Manchester City, Manchester United. Yani to a point yenye, we don't even care what is happening. We don't even care about the industries. We don't care about the tourism. We care about football. And this is because the media, or rather the journalists or people in media, they're focused on what they enjoy telling their story, their football stories. And by that, everybody has just embraced it, and everybody's just enjoying the fact that niaje our jama, they know what they are doing. And coming back here, I think it's high time now we also try to focus on our best products and our best values. And literature is one of the solid values we have, I will say, for lack of a better term. But let us enjoy it. It's celebrated all over the world. And by talking of African literature, I don't mean just authors from Africa. So we're going to have discussion on literature written by Africans, from authors from the great and mighty East Africa, West Africa, Southern Africa, Central Africa, Northern Africa, and diaspora. So we are not limiting ourselves only across the continent, but we are going to address literature that's addressing Africans and maybe written by Africans. And not only books, we're also going to have a very amazing season, because lined up for you, you're going to have very amazing authors coming in and discussing. You remember our last episode with Nyawera, LT Nyawera, a local, a Kenyan author, I'll say, not local, she's a big brand. So we are going to have more of that, local or rather African authors. And also we are going to invite you, the lover of literature out there, mazetu akuita hapa. Si ati tuko na kiti moja, tuweka kiti ingine hapo and then ama studio ingine, and then we invite you, we talk African literature. And not only guests, we'll also have literature critiques from all over. We are going also to have other creatives, because literature is wide. Let us enjoy it and have an open mind. Sawa sawa. Mimi naitwa Kim, manze nimerant, nimeongea na hata sijajiintroduce. Mimi naitwa Kim, in Book Plug Podcast Season 2, Episode 1 ndio inaanza sasa. Sawa sawa. So, ita mabeshte, tupige story sasa. Leo nimekuandalia nilitaka sana kuanza na kitabu ya kutoka nyumbani. I really wanted to start with a home literature, and nikachukua moja, a very very nice text, inaitwa Dust by Yvonne Owuor. Kama wewe ni mtu unasoma unajua bana, ukisikia Yvonne unajua it's something that it's not an easy read. And honestly, I can comfortably confirm that, you know what, Dust by Yvonne Owuor is not an easy read. It's a good read. Actually, it's one of those texts, since last year, I can say that it's one of very few texts that have required a lot of my concentration. It's a deep text. Dust. Just right from the beginning of the literature of the book, manze Yvonne anakupeleka. I really enjoyed it. I was like watching a movie. And the very first pages, because I didn't know what was happening down there. I hadn't read about any review for the book or from any reviewer out there. I was so fresh, I was so green. So the first encounter with the book, manze minaona nasoma alafu napata jina za streets za Nairobi hapo ndani, and then inaanza, unaona penye movie inaanzanga, trailer ya movie inaanzanga na scene climax, maybe ni jamaa na chapwa. Same na hii kitabu, jamaa anapigwa mob, anatoroka, and then you know what, polisi wanamaliza ndani ya gari. That's the start. So you don't know, manze hii story sasa atatupeleka the story of this guy who has been murdered, ama inaendelea wapi. Manze that book is deep to a point yenye within the very first 5 chapters. Also, let me be honest, I'm not yet done with the book, but it's a heavy book. So within the very first 5 chapters of the book, tumepelekwa Northeastern, tuko Nairobi, tumeenda majuu, tumeenda Nyanza, and not literally that the characters are traveling there, but her mastery in intertwining or fixing and twisting the Kenyan culture together. What do I mean? In the book, you find the characters, akona Luo name, but it's from the northeastern part of the country. And then even on the conversation, you find that they use some other languages like Kikuyu. So that means it's so beautiful. It was so beautiful. We have the warriors from there. We also have people moving from Kenya to Maju. It was so amazing. The first few chapters, or rather mali nimefikia that book, ilikuwa fiti. And now the reason why nilichukua Dust, I really wanted something that will challenge us and give us a strong foundation, a solid foundation as we begin this season 2. What do I mean? For the longest time, tumekuwa tukitaka foundation. Tumekuwa tukitaka ni aje tunaweza learn kutoka kwa hizi vitu, ama for the longest time tumekuwa tukijiuliza what can we learn from this, and tumekuwa high school tumepitia hizi set books, tumefanya nini, and tukitoka hapo we don't continue with the culture of embracing our own. Yani tulisoma, watu walisoma River and the Source, watu wamesoma Blossom, watu wamesoma The River Between, watu wamesoma a lot of these local or rather Kenyan text. And then after that, after school, manze watu wa focus tena. We go for self-development or text, vitu za kutusaidia kupambana na maisha. But there is something also hidden on this other side of these other genres. So not unless we explore them, manze hatutaijua. And for that reason, acha tuone kitabu inatuambia nini. So the text is set roughly, naweza sema, according to my own experience, it's a Kenyan set, and then she's not shy about using our local places na culture yetu, and the timing of the book is around 2007, because in the book anasema wakati alishuka ndege, when the daughter ameshuka ndege, she could see posters za politician, the way they smile, generally kila kitu yenye na happen tu venye tunaangalianga kwa billboard, unaona wanasiasa, unaona nini, it's just the same. So what I really picked up out of this book, or rather what really inspired me nikaanza kufikiria na nikaona ni aje it's better nikuja share with you, is the importance of understanding our family structure. That is number one. And then also something that I came to call it later after reading the book, I call it the walls. In the book, Yvonne is saying that one broken family makes a one broken family and another broken family makes a broken village. And then one broken village to another broken village makes a broken country. And that's why, also to just borrow from a different concept, watu wanasemanga that the politicians or leaders are just a reflections of its citizens. And I think you may capture vizuri. So we blame these people for whatever they are doing, but right here, pia sisi tunafanya hivyo, ama huko chini pia sisi tunafanya hivyo. I saw a tweet yesterday of Amerix was saying that we are not angry about the corruption. It's only that we don't have the chance to be in that position. Ukweli uongo. Ukipata nafasi, so Amerix kwa anasema majority of us we're just trying to behave as if we are morally right, but it's simply because we don't have the chance. Hauna nafasi ya kuingia kwa hizo ofisi. Ukiingia hapo, you will also participate or also be corrupt. I don't know if you agree or disagree with that, but ukiangalia vifiti, hata based on trajectory ya our leaders wenye tumekuwa nao, it's been the same thing. Hakuna mtu mwenye anabadilika. So I leave that to you. Wewe fikiria alafu uone. Anyway, so my greatest pick was the walls. Human walls, family walls that we create. And because the book is set in 2007, I really wanted, kwa sababu najua utaenda kusoma hii kitabu, so sioni need ya kukwambia the type of wall that Yvonne is discussing in the book. So I decided, you know what, let me come closer home, closer to you, and closer to where we are as young people, or rather everybody who is living at this particular time. There is a very great wall yenye ijetengenezwa na concrete, imetengenezwa na silence. What do I mean? So nimei break down into 3 walls that nataka tushare na wewe, alafu tukafunge. Because hii ni ya kwanza na tulisemaga we are not going to take a lot of time. Tunajua wewe ni mtu msharp and you're going to get this, and of course you're going to read. So the walls, I'll start with the family walls. And these family walls tuko na also category. So I'll start by young family walls. My friend visited me over the weekend. It was an amazing weekend, by the way. Hii weekend ilikuwa fiti. Acha tu nikupatie nini kidogo. Ilikuwa fiti kwa nini? Beshte yangu alinitembelea, wewe mwenye nataka kupatia story yake. And then we also had our virtual literary salon. We usually have a book of the month. We discuss with peers and friends. And then every last weekend of the month tunapatana, and then we just discuss it. So last weekend was one of those weekends, and it was awesome, man. Seeing a lot of young people with different insights. It was amazing. You can also join us. Kama unataka kujua hii story about the virtual salon, you can go to our social media and then learn about that, and then show interest by inboxing us, and we'll be happy to admit you. So back to our story. So beshte yangu amenitembelea, and then she decided pige story sasa. tupige story tuendelee hii ni weekendi kila kitu imeenda fiti so why not. And we happened that amidst our story akaleta story fulani ya beshte yake. She visited her friend. Actually, yes, she visited her friend, and this friend of hers, he has a wife, so they have a young family. Ni yeye na bibi yake. So as she was telling me, alifika kwa nyumba ya beshte yake, akakaribishwa of course, nini, akapatiwa maji na chai na nini vitu kaa hizo. And then now, the flesh, or rather what really distracted her is the fact that after being served, the couple went back to their phones. And then they spent a whole like 20 minutes to 30 minutes on the phone. Everybody's on different social media. Moja ako TikTok, mwingine ako wapi. And it's too loud. All of them, it's chaotic in a way, if I can term it. It's somehow chaotic. And then yeye ameka hapo. Ikafika time kwa sababu ni mabeshte akaona, ni aje, good friends corrects each other. So akawambia, mnaweza eka simu kando kidogo tuongee. And then she happened to lecture them. Akawambia, you people, I'm here and mna time yangu. Why is that so? Sinikikuja hapa nafaa at least napiga story, mi ndio mgeni nini. So they decided to put the phone aside. And now that became even the worst bit of it. She thought that after Omeka phones kando, they'll now start discussing the story tashika, at least will interact. Wapi. It became dead silent. Everybody was just silent. Because ni kama, according to how venye alikuwa ananiambia, it's like two people, they are strangers living together. And mi nikaanza kufikiria nini inaweza fanya two people who are loving each other, they are living together to live like strangers, such that when you put away the phones and the gadgets, we have nothing to talk. We can't have a conversation, a physical conversation, or one-to-one conversation. I realized that one of the walls in our families are the gadgets. Because we are happy, man. When you're using your phone, you're so happy. And actually, to our surprise, she's telling me that when they were using their phone, they could contribute to the story and discussion kidogo. But once they were put aside, they went silent. Which means they were somehow happy when using the phones. And then that is a wall that they've created. Not even they've created, it's created. We want to remain connected on the outside, but we are so much disconnected in the inside. Najua unanipata. So that was not even the most surprising bit of her story. The most surprising bit, ama place yenye mimi ilinivuruga zaidi, it's when she said that mtoi alikuwa melala and then akaamka, acha niseme kakao, kuna watu, akaamka, mtoi akaamka, and then akakuja, she was fed by the mother, and then akaekwa chini kucheza. Of course ni mtoi mdogo, lazima acheze nini. And the kid was so calm. So they were somehow happy because mtoi ametulia, so they can have their own moments, their gadgets and other things. They were happy because the kid was calm. So sasa hii ni mimi nafikiria baadaye. So I was thinking maybe the kid, guys, a disclaimer, I'm not an expert in parenting. I don't know nothing about parenting, but this is just me thinking out. So I thought maybe the child was silent because amezoea hawa watu manze hawakuagi na time yangu. Hawa kila mtu anakuaga na mambo yake, mi bora nimeshiba, naweza cheza, naweza jichezea peke yangu, and is that. And to my prediction, even though I'm not against buying good things to our babies and our children, is that my prediction, mtu yeye akifika around kitu kama 1 year, atabaiwa gadget pia yeye, atabaiwa tablet yake, akwe pia ana focus na cartoon. So wakati baba na mama wako busy kwa shughuli kwa phone, pia atakuwa hapo chini ana watch cartoon ama anafanya vitu zake. Ukweli uongo. So we've created another wall. So between ourselves, there's a wall as couples, as young couples, and then between us and this child, there's another wall. So we can't connect. Sika unaipata. I hope nimeitoa vizuri. So that is the number one wall that I think, if tukirudi kwa the book huko tutaona venye alikuwa naongelea the same way Yvonne is talking of these walls are somehow inherited, the silence, the sorrow, they are somehow inherited. The same way the digital wall that we are creating at the moment is also, mtoi pia akigrow hivyo, ama mtu akikuja aone okay, they are living peacefully, it's something I can also emulate in my home, ataenda na ianzishe hivyo. And to take you back to the point that I was saying, one broken family plus another broken family leads to a broken village, and then inaendelea hivyo. So mtu akikuja copy hiyo and anzie huko, the whole village will be having, kids will be having gadgets, parents will be busy on their gadgets, and then also not only the phones ama nini, you find that after tumekula nini everybody, I want to watch Manchester United crushing Arsenal as always, maybe she wants to watch Netflix, and the kids continue with cartoon. So there's no time for family, not family time, they have family time, but the physical, and they don't know each other, they don't get a time to interact with each other. I read somewhere, I think it was just a post on X, that Russia, I don't know how true this is, but I saw it nikasema, if kama ni ukweli ama ni uongo, but this can be a good thing, that in Russia ikifika saa 2 government inataka kuwa inazima stima, inazima wifi. You know why? Ndio watu wa reproduce, as in wa create that family time. Wamerealize that, man, internet, kila msee ako kwa internet. Sawa. So manze, check on your social life, especially the young couples, and if you have a family, and vitu kama hizo, kama uko na mtoi, try to regulate that. That is wall number 1. And then another wall, let's go to the extended families, the big family, the bigger picture. Now here, hapa ndio kuna noma. Wewe unajua tumekuwa tukisema nowadays manze hakunaga hata zile vitu zilikuwa zina makuzoa na patana, no family gatherings, zinaenda zikiisha, and mbona zinaisha? One, watu wanasema wako busy, watu wako tao, watu wako busy, so there's no time to travel to Ocha kupatana na family na vitu kama hizo. We've created that wall. You don't want to go out of the city because manze utabaki nyuma. Watu wako huku wana hustle, so utaenda nyumbani ubaki nyuma, unaogopa. That's another wall we've created. And to this extended family, I think pia naweza extend to a point that nowadays the children have inherited the beef kutoka kwa wazazi. Tumesahau that pia wao ni ndugu na dada, so lazima watakuwa wana crash over hapa na pale, wanasumbuana. So si tumeinherit because mother ungeange na Uncle John ama ungeange na uncle fulani. Sasa pia sisi pia mimi nimeichukulia hivyo, and I don't talk to the cousin from that particular house of my uncle. We've inherited that. That's not even the worst part. The worst part inakam wakati kuna hizi familia zenye okay, wao upatana, and then tumepatana, but it's not fun as it used to be. We there, but we still want to remain connected to the city, what is happening kwa hizi tao zenye tulikuwa, ama place yenye tulikuwa, ama in the outside. We don't have a real moment enye watu kitambo maybe walikuwa naenda wanachinja, wanakula, wana celebrate, wana enjoy na vitu kama hiyo. It's no longer there. And the reason why I'm saying this extended is somehow personal, because early this year, January hivi, a friend of mine akaniambia ni aje tutoke kidogo, toke tao tuende tutembea kidogo, angalau to relax. So tukaenda, and then he asked me, ulienda home mara ngapi last time? So I told him, and then akaniambia, you know what, you have to double the number. Hata mimi niko kwa hiyo challenge ya double the number that you go to see your parents. It was somehow personal because alisha akaniambia budake sasa alikuwa anamwambia yeye aonangi essence ya kuenda home, not that aendangi, but hata akienda the parents are not there, so haoni haja ya kuenda. So bishtangu alikuwa ananiambia manze, saizi it's high time that we learn from such scenario, that you have to connect, you have to visit them, kama wako alive, kama pia ni guardians, you just have to go and visit them. Wewe unajua hizi vitu bana, watu waendi home. Last time I was here in December, before we take the break, a lot of people were here bana, watu wako area, watu waendi. You are not going to connect. And by family, I don't mean only your father and your mother, also the extended families. Our grandparents are aging in the village. We don't spend time. We don't want to go and visit them because we don't have time, quote unquote. And man, we are losing a lot. We are losing a lot. And I also have a personal story, because for the longest time, for the longest time, kuna time fulani brother yangu mmoja, and he's been there. Actually ni mkubwa, so yeye ndiye ameishi kuni support nini nikiwa shule nini. So unajua firstborns wanakuanga ni kama wazazi. And then something happened, tukakuwa ni kama we are not in good terms at all. So to spend like a whole year, we're not talking, we're not in good terms. And then I decided, and it's not because of something big, it was just a game of ego. And mbona yeye anishtui, si pia yeye anafaa kunishtua, kwani mimi tu ndio nafaa kumshtua? Until ikafika time nikajiambia, manze, why don't I just call him and just check on him, vitu kama hiyo. Nilimpigia, and hata kama hakuniambia alifurahi, but you could tell he was so happy reconnecting with the family once again. I felt, manze, mbona sikumtafutanga even during the very first month, nimwambie niaje bro, ilikuwa hivi na hivi. So I don't know what was, nini ilikuwa imetuweka hapo katikati. I was feeling yeye ndiye anafaa kunishtua, but finally we reconciled na shughuli ikaenda fiti. Right now we are in good terms. The reason why I'm sharing all this is I'm not here to lecture anyone. I'm not here to lecture you. I'm not even an expert in family matters. I'm not an expert in marriage. The thing is, man, you have to be aware of your surrounding and the walls that you have. You don't be blinded. Don't forget that, you know what, man, family is important, number one. And naiweka hivyo kwa sababu siku hizi imekuwa ni kama norm. We don't take our family so serious. We don't take it so serious. Sijui ni life imekuwa ngumu, so we are chasing the bag so hard to a point that we are forgetting our families out there. We are forgetful, man. Ukisoma hii kitabu Dust, Yvonne anatupeleka mbele, anaturudisha nyuma. And the reason mimi naweza sema ametumia hiyo stylistic device in writing is she wants to remind us the importance of where we are coming from. In the book, you'll find the siblings wameturudisha mpaka wakati walikuwa na grow up together, the way the brother used to protect the sister, their relationship, how they used to relate to each other, which is amazing, man. Which is amazing. So mimi nataka uchukue hiyo kitabu, enda soma hiyo kitabu, and then the next thing you do, just try reconnect with your family members. And nitakuacha na swali, manze, wewe ni wall gani uko naye? Which wall do you have? And this wall, you know, hata before nimalize, there's another, karibu nikuache na hii moja nilikwambia nitakupatia tatu. There's another wall. So the first one is the family wall. Na hiyo family wall break into extended family, and also we've also branched to the young families that we have. Another wall that we've created at the moment is the social wall or the public wall. Manze, siku hizi imekuwa hadi noma. Watu wana find it very hard to interact na, you know, umeona mtu mzuri, umeenda umemwomba namba, ni mtoto mzuri tu, ni aje, and you are good at that, umemwomba namba, umeongea kidogo, and then I don't know what happened, ukienda home ukimtext, ni aje, this is so and so, tulipatana place flani, pia nakwambia, nice to meet you, it was my pleasure, and then conversation dies. We go back on TikTok ama Instagram ama wapi ku reply on comments, but we can't reply to a normal conversation, one-on-one conversation yenye tuko naye. Imekuwa ngumu. Nimeona ex watu sana wakisema, and not only ex, hata watu huku nje wanaongea, siku hizi manze inakuwa ngumu. Maybe madem wana complain, wanasema, siku hizi manze, hata nikijaribu kuplay hard to get kidogo, jamaa ameenda. Ameshaenda. And I think me personally nikizaulizwa ni kwa sababu we've created a wall. We don't see the essence of that other person, because you know what, mimi niko na simu, naweza ingia pale online na nibambike, nicheke, memes na share, and that is okay. Pia hiyo side nyingine naona niaje, sawa, acha niendelee. But kama umekuwa keen, kumekuwa na hizo complaint that niaje, siku hizi nowadays maboy bana, they don't push, they don't try hard, and dema kijaribu tu kuplay hard to get the first attempt, wewe amekwambia niaje mambo, nakutaka, and iko hivi na hivi, niaje tunaweza enda kahawa, ukijaribu kucheza sijui ishaenda hivyo, imekutoka. And same thing na pia to the men, unapata hata after amechukua namba ama amechukua mmeconnect, umempatia kitu yenye, umempatia labda email ama handle yako, the conversation haiendelei past niaje, so and so. You find that maybe hata mmeenda maybe out and it's just empty. It's just empty. I'm looking forward to ile time yenye watu wanaweza enda out and wameacha simu mahali, ama hizi places zenye tunaendanga out, pia watu weke place ya simu zinaekwa kando, and then sikulazimishi usome, but wanaweza tuwekea vitabu hapo, vitu kama hiyo. But hakuna. The other time nilikuwa naenda nilikuwa natoka Nairobi naingia place and then nikaangalia manze, mi by the mi uangalia na kana nani kwa gari. Mi uangalia na kana nani. Sana sana I don't take seat yenye haina mtu kwa sababu hiyo hawezi chagua mtu mwenye atakaa next na wewe. But most of the time naangalianga ile iko empty, huyu tunaweza piga naye story. It doesn't matter ni mzee ama nani, but depending on the journey na nini, na kana mtu mwenye tunaweza piga naye story. So tukaenda na bishte yangu, tulikuwa naenda na yeye actually. Kashangaa mbona nimeamua kukaa hapo mbele, yeye ameingia huko nyuma and seats, gari haiko imejaa huko nyuma, but because I saw someone hapo mbele nikajua tapiga naye story through and through. But manze, hata ukiwa prepared hivyo kupiga story, unapata there are some people who are not tumezoea. Ukiingia kwa gari, for instance, ukiingia kwa gari ufanya nini? Upate mtu hapo hata unawagoteanga kweli, ama tulijua ni aje kila mtu afocus na life yake, kila mtu anaenda place yenye anaenda, sisi tuende. So what happened, now huyu jamaa alikuwa na story, tukapiga naye story vizuri, but azinasha hii story nimekumbuka time fulani kwa mengia kwa mat, and then jamaa tulikuwa tumekaa na yeye ndiye alikuja actually. Hiyo time yeye ndiye alikuja, niliingia ni hizi mat za kawaida tu, so hiyo huwezi chagua ati ungoje acha niende nikae pale. So jamaa akakuja, tukakaa na yeye hapo. Good thing nilimgotea, hata actually nitamtaja, anaitwa Manu. So nikamgotea hivyo tu, niaje kufit na ndiye alinipata, tukatulia, tumeendaenda. Guess what, simu yangu ikazima. I don't know how ilizima, na manamba ndio huyo ako hapo, ako almost. Ni mnajua mambo ya Super Metro venye wanafanyanga watu. So manze nimetense, nikaambia mse niaje, simu yangu imezima, unashukia wapi? Ndio pia mimi nishukia hapo, kama unaweza nilipia tushukia hapo, tuende kwa M-Pesa ni charge simu nikutumie. Manze akaniambia hapana, usi stress, nitakulipia. Nikamwambia we lipa, alafu tukishuka nita make sure place yenye unashuka nita make sure nimekupatia. Boy akaniambia akalipa fare na tukaenda. So najiulizanga kama huyu jamaa angekuja keti hapo na mimi and then nimemnyamazia, true story by the way, nimemnyamazia, alafu simu izime, and siku hizi atutembei na cash sana, ningesaidika vipi? Either unaona, as in just saying hi to the person ili save a lot of embarrassments, a lot of maybe vitu zenye zinge happen hapo, maybe ningeshukishwa, ni usiku, kunanyesha, umetoka job, umechoka, but just a hi. But what do we do tukiingia kwa mat ama tukiingia kwa hizi public places? Kila mse ana focus na life yake, kila mse ako kwa simu, kila mtu ana focus na vitu zenye anafikiria. We don't interact, we don't socialize, we don't, So I decided to share that. I know it's not written anywhere in that book, Dust. And if you read all the chapters, around 42 chapters, you won't find that. But if you're keen, you'll come out with something. That is what I picked. I won't discuss the book. Of course, we'll agree on this podcast. We're not going to discuss the book. What you're going to do is get an inspiration and then tunakimbia naye. And that was the inspiration for the day. Make sure, manze, you at least toa hizo walls zenye zinakuja hapo katikati yetu, in public places, in our families, anywhere you are, manze, make sure you kill those walls. They will cost you, and we are human beings, we are social beings, inasemangwa kila siku. So make sure, and takuacha na challenge bana, kama kuna mse mwenye create wall deliberately, unataka tu mkaa hivyo, manze, there's no need. Just break the wall, mpatane, muongee na mambo itakuwa fiti. Sawa, nataka kumalizia hapo, but just insisting that in relation to what I've shared, the Book Plug podcast, tuko na kitu inaitwa retail salons. We'll be meeting physically. Of course, you keep updated on our social media handles, but pia tuko na ingine inaitwa virtual salon, literally salon ambazo ni virtual. So what we do, we pick a book of the month and then we read and reflect every single day. We share the reflections on our WhatsApp group, and then at the end of the month we meet virtually, we discuss them. So this inasaidia wase ku kill the wall. Tuna interact, tunajuana. You read books, amazing books like particularly yenye tumesoma so far, Dust. We read together, so we try to do that. And then during the physical, tuna have the physical interaction, which is amazing. So if you're one person mwenye unadai ku break the wall yenye iko hapo katikati, make sure unatutafuta, ingia kwa social media utatupata. And then very important, ukisubscribe kwa hii channel nitashukuru, na pia ukishare hii content na mse, utakuwa umemsaidia maybe kama ako na wall. Sawa, This is just the beginning of Book Plugger Season 2. This has been episode 1. Mimi naitwa Kim. Tutapatana episode karibu niseme season 2. Tutapatana episode 2, na episode 2 ni moto. Remember tumesema we are dealing with African context, African literature. So tupatane episode 2. Mimi naitwa Kim, nimeondokea.